I'm Caressa.
I'm her daughter.
I was living in an apartment complex in another town. And after I had some occasions going on, I left and I went to Murfreesboro. I stayed with a relative for a couple of months as I was traveling back and forth from Murfreesboro to Columbia to work. And all of a sudden, my cousin had a domestic violence altercation with one of her kids' father. So I left the home and I came to Columbia.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kane, pastor at Westminster Presbyterian Church, 2800 Trotwood here in Columbia, Tennessee. I arrived at this church in the fall of 2013 and began to ask people and situations about what ministries this church could offer. And in talking with people, as well as getting a number of phone calls, I found out and discovered there's a homeless situation. There's a homeless problem in our greater community of Columbia. People do not have shelter from the storms and situations of life. They don't have enough housing is one factor, and another factor is they just have hit their limits. Money has run out, they've lost their jobs, have been evicted from their places of residence. So I began to receive these phone calls, talk with these individuals. I inquired of a number of churches and agencies and found to my dismay that there's no room in the inn here in Columbia from the biblical story of Jesus. I'd learned about the program and studied it in Nashville 28 years ago when I was a pastor there of a priest named Charlie Strobel, who recruited several churches who would take a night during the winter season and offer fellowship hall classrooms for one night and food for folks who need a warm place from the storms of life, winter, rejections, just a comfortable place to get their feet back on the ground. It was slow going in those winter months of 2016, but then on Memorial Day, we began a flood of people, and it continued all the way up through Christmas of 2016, where we housed over 18 adults and 2 children on cots in classrooms. There was no fights, there was no graffiti, there was no incidents of vandalism. Those 18 people have since transitioned onto employment and to their own homes. This summer, since Christmas, we've housed a single mother and her honor student, Central High young person.
I'm 16, about to be 17, and so basically what my mother has been through, I've been through with her, because I'm like a part of her. I'm an honor student and I also work, so that's pretty much what I do right now. At the same time, like going back and forth from work, working long shifts, and you're coming home, and it gets kind of overwhelming because like we have a home, but it's like not our home.
The need in our community is alarming. I've read over 130 children in the public school system are homeless by standards. And I get a call probably once every 10 days for people looking for shelter. Basic roof over their heads, somewhere to get out of the chaos, the trauma. Many come here, I've heard stories, sleeping in their vans, their cars, or at KOA campgrounds, or at Maury County Park under benches. And we have taken a decision here to open as many doors as we can. We can't house everybody. I keep beating on walls and doors of various churches and agencies, and I just can't seem to pry open the hearts and the doors. But we here at Westminster have continued to open our doors and will so. We don't have a large congregation. We have limited funding. We don't have beds, again, showers or laundry facilities. But somehow, as we would say, by the grace of God, we're able to provide shelter and support and love to what we consider these children of God. Their stories are fascinating. They're people like you and I that are this close, one paycheck away from losing our house or ways to provide for our children.
But sometimes she'll come to me, it's like, are we ever gonna find a place to stay? And I'm like, yeah, just have to be patient and just wait. So I think what's overwhelming is just trying to find an apartment just to suit our needs. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest concern. But at the same time, I told her just have to be patient. We're not rushed or forced to leave here. We're welcome to stay as long as we want. I think that's the main thing, is just find a vibrant here that suits our resources.
Living here is like the greatest opportunity I have, but like when you see other homeless people, it makes you feel bad because like you want to hurry up and get out of here so they can take your place.
My long-term dream is if we could open more churches or empty buildings or provide a facility for this room in the inn, because they're all guests, and as the Bible tells us, if you entertain strangers unawares, you might well be entertaining angels of God. And so we have that philosophy. We have no paid staff here for this program. It's all volunteer. The monies we receive are all generous gifts. We have no board of directors. We have no fabulous kitchens. We have no outstanding facilities. People sleep on cots, some on floors. The 18, 19 people that we've served to date have all gained employment. They're all have found their way, they've gotten back on their feet, they've found employment, education, and they're on their way. We simply provided them a short stay, some a couple months, others longer, just to get back on their feet, get their heads together, to receive calm and peace and quiet, support and love, like an extended family. So Room in the Inn is like the safety net many of us are privileged to have.
Looking back over the past couple months and stuff that's has happened, I feel like I'm kind of proud of us because there's many days that like I was like I didn't want to like keep going. So I'm glad I didn't stop. I kept going, even though like everything would happen. I still had to go through school, and there's many times like, man, while I'm like still going to school and this is happening, can I just like, quit school? And then like positive because I'm like no, because I got to think about my future. I'm like, this is only temporary right now, so I just got to push through. So, and then, like, you know, faith, because hopeful. Without God, I wouldn't be here in this here in this place.
Never give up. Always pray, give your everything to God, and let Him see your way through life. It hurts sometimes, but at the same time, I still pick up and go, because I know eventually one thing, everything's gonna fall into a puzzle. Just never give up. Never give up in life. Sometimes I know a lot of people feel like giving up, but I never have. I still keep going.